because we're the same complexion that we have something in common.
Right.
And the color of my skin tells you nothing about me.
Thank you.
But that is a big problem. And we, sometimes I think the reason this things continue to be perpetrated because a lot of young blacks I come across now, they feel they're victims. The man has still got his foot on my neck. And what are you doing about it? And they just, well, there's nothing I can do.
But who's keeping us as victims? Who's keeping us?
Sometimes, I'm going to be honest with you, I think sometimes we can be our own worst enemies. You know, I really believe that we can be our own worst enemies at sometimes. We need to look at the black culture. We need to see where we are in America. You made a good point about the reparations. And this is a wealthy nation that we're in right now. We need to do something. Something that really burns me up sometimes, I can watch TV. And why is it that 90% of the commercials that you see black people in, they're either singing or dancing or they got a beard in hand?
Well, you know, going back, Doctor, to the point that you made about this, the children and so on and so forth, let me just tell you what I just experienced for the second time in the last month. I went to a conference at Michigan State University, and I'm writing a paper right now on summarizing that conference. But what I noticed was the students were standing up, some of them valedictorians of their schools. They brought students from all over the state to deal with hip-hop culture. Those students were standing up one after the other, talking about what they saw as possibility, the hope, where their skills would take them. And it was the adults that stood up telling them, in essence, that you need to embrace victimization as your identity.
Right.
It was the adults that were talking about looking at this country through the rearview mirror, which the children don't have that, because the children have only these experiences, not the one when you were denied access and so on and so forth. So I got up in the conference and stated this, that the problem that I see it here in this particular conference is that the scholars themselves are confused. And it was repeatedly the confusion pronounced in one conference after the other. And I'll be writing, I just got through writing a person in Lansing who wrote me from having met me over the conference. And I just responded to that. I'm going to put this on line to show that if the adults will stop this, looking at this country as if it's static, as if there has been no improvements, as if America today is America of your grandparents, as if we don't understand, for example, that in this country, the country of Venus Williams' father, where he talks one discussion, is not the discussion of Venus Williams, Serena Williams, the children of the father. And if you listen to the dialogue, you get two different dialogues because they have two different Americas that we're dealing with and are dealing with now. And we have too many times allowed the children to see through our own voices this paralytic nonsense we're perpetuating, like this America is America of yesterday. The opportunities here are unparalleled that black parents and grandparents certainly could not even have imagined to exist. And when we see black people making it, we want to say that the way they made it, they sold out, rather than understanding that nobody gave these persons anything. Some people have doctorate degrees. How did you give them anything if they arrived at top positions when they're qualified for the position that they're in? We need to, first of all, we talk about speaking truth to power. Let's talk about speaking truth to each other for a change.
I heard about that conference that went on this past weekend, and I'm kind of shocked that you're saying that the parents was getting up.
Oh yes.
And saying that that keeping our children victimized.
I mean, the adult. I didn't say parents. I said the adults.
The adults. Okay.
Scholars and many from scholars.
Okay, and also that you're saying most of the scholars are confused.
The scholars are confused.
So if the scholars are confused and they're the ones who we get a lot of information from, does that make us confused also?
It means that Du Bois' talent intent must be reconsidered. Du Bois told us that talent intent was going to lead the 90% out of the wilderness. And with the talent intent being even in Du Bois' day, I mean when Du Bois was in handcuffs, and he had installed the talent intent in many of the positions that they had on those college campuses. Did the talent intent come to Du Bois' case? Did they rise to the occasion when they had Du Bois in chains and they had Du Bois in handcuffs? Where was the talent intent at that point in time? We're fooling ourselves. Bill Cosby has a better idea of where we ought to carry this discussion. Because if we speak truth to poor people, I am very much convinced if we have the truth taught to poor people, they'll gravitate toward it as we did. Because which one of us was born with a silver spoon in our mouth? They spoke truth to us, and we grabbed onto the truth that they taught us and rose to the occasion. The truth that I was told, for example, there's a poor kid wearing holes in my shoes.